Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the J22 Report. I am your host, Johnnie Market. You all know that drill. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Remember the disclaimer. Nothing should be construed as financial investment advice. Just my opinions, thoughts on the markets. Let's get into today's stuff. I haven't done a video in a while because I've been super busy. Took a vacation for a little bit, but that was only for like 2 or 3 days. A lot of it's just, wife, family, uh, housework, work. I just haven't had time and nothing game changing. But there was a couple of things I wanted to get on today, so made a little bit of time while my wife's with the baby and just get into start. If you looked on my channel, actually, before I share, I just wanted to. Bitcoin has not been doing all that well this year. In fact, I actually think all the gains this year, actually, I think have been erased for the most part. So I want to get back to the video and just do a little bit of a lesson because I said that, the Bitcoin bull market is over. The time for investing is done. It is over. And people did not like hearing that. In fact, one of the comments I got was, "You're just mad that you never bought it." And I mean, everyone misses stuff. Rare people want to admit it or not. And I mean, I think there'll be a time to buy Bitcoin again, but I can't do the video, so we'll just share. I think there'll be a time to buy Bitcoin again. It's just not anytime soon. It's over. So Bitcoin erases year's gains as crypto bear market ends. Bitcoin's probably going back down to $3,000 to $1,000, and I think that will be the buying opportunity again. I think it's going down there. It's going to go back down there. Uh, Probably to what gold is now, maybe 4,000, but that's what I think. It's just a little more than after reaching all-time high. Bitcoin has erased more than 30% gains. You have to remember, if you're down 20%, that's a bear market. So, from a technical standpoint, it isn't a bear market. And I think the days of investing in Bitcoin are over. Will they come back? Yeah, absolutely. It's like any other asset. I'm not married to any asset, but buying Bitcoin after the election was just stupid. It's just not. You buy when things are hated and cheap. You don't buy them regardless of what traders say. Because you can just keep buying it, keep buying it, keep buying. And then when sentiment turns, even if you didn't get the exact bottom, you're going to be up significantly more. That's how I work. So, yeah, after Trump's election victory, it soared to 126,000. I remember saying, like, this is it. Like, this is the days are over. There was a comment, I was just mad, and why are you bad mouthing Bitcoin? There's nothing wrong with Bitcoin as long as the price is right. So, anyway, let's get into this stuff. Actual economy, not even most severe crises since the Great Depression has seen this. So, look at it here 71% of consumers expect higher unemployment over the next 12 months, highest since the 1980s recession. Not even the '08. So, if you look at it, not even during the '08 crisis was it this much. So, consumer sentiment's horrible. And speaking more of the economy, Denny's, Outback Steakhouse, Ruby Tuesday, they're closing locations. It says dozens. And this is good. I mean, I'm not saying it's good for you, but Denny's, they have a really good breakfast. I used to eat there in college. Outback Steakhouse, I like it. I like Outback. Ruby Tuesday, I used to eat there. It's good food. This also shows that the young consumer is going broke. So this is more AI is just government spending. Like that's all it is. Like this is more how the consumer, how the economy's going. Uh, Zombie companies, 639 zombie companies in the Russell 3000, highest in 4 years. Basically, it's they can't cover interest payments with profit and survive only by borrowing more money. So you can see it's becoming zombification. And one thing I would say is America needs to find ways to get youth in the workforce. And if they have to force companies to hire them, I think they need to do it. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a capitalist. I basically I'm more of a nationalist, if anything. I don't want to get into politics, but yeah, it's what you do. You do what's best for the nation. Sometimes what's best for the nation isn't best for a company's bottom line. China works in that way in some ways. The reason they're winning the AI race is they were forced to work unprofitably for a while, and their tech boomed. It was spent more on research and development. I've read about that, and now they're profiting immensely. But yeah, young Americans are considered fleeing the U.S. over nation site. This is the thing, mass migration. There's always a balancing thing. Anytime you have immigration, it's done at generally the native population's expense. Rarely is it ever good for the actual nation. Uh, and I say that my wife's an immigrant, but a lot of times if you have a segment of people moving in, it's always generally at the expense of someone. And in this case, it's the expense of young people. And all these young people are going to move out. And that's pretty much, this is one prediction of Peter Schiff. I think he's end up being right on the end. I've covered this story, but like I'm moving out. I'm probably, my wife's from Poland. We're probably moving over there. We have a better life and everything. So, I mean, so if I'm moving out, uh, maybe these people are too. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a mass exodus, and this debt crisis is going to be worse than what people think. So, gosh, can't. That's what I hate about computers is sometimes I can't just exit out. Just freezes for whatever reason. Let's see. Oh, finally it got, so I'm gonna go. And then everyone used to look at the job cuts as like, oh yeah, but look at this PwC, Big Four accounting. They are doing layoffs. So PricewaterhouseCoopers is laying off 150 employees in marketing, human resources, operations, their support, and more cuts to expected. I think AI data is a crock. I don't think that's why people are getting fired. I don't buy it. I think it's a convenient way instead of so they don't have to tell the actual truth about the economy or visa programs that are firing Americans. Uh, so I think AI just provides the perfect cover for them to do what they wanted to do. So next one, Amazon. And everyone said, I always said, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Well, if you look at who shops at Whole Foods, it's not poor people. It's not working class people. It's the upper class. It's upper class and higher. So it's finally fed up with Whole Foods sluggish sales. Yeah, well, who can shop at Whole Foods? Actually, funny story about Whole Foods. I know it's struggling because I live in a rich area. And I was just where I used my first ever apartment, outside of the home. I remember I was walking, I was driving around there. It was so I went to the parking lot, the shopping center was really right across the street from my apartment, and the Whole Foods actually shut down. I used to buy beer there. Ironically, Whole Foods had the cheapest beer. And it was replaced with a Lidl, which is a grocery store, but it's like a cheap one. It's cheaper than Martin's, Giant, Safeway, you name Food Lion, name that grocery store. It's a German brand. And the Whole Foods was priced at, and I used to shop at Lidl because it was the cheapest. And it actually used to have good quality. Now it's horrible. Known for organic and healthy conscious clientele. So the Amazonification has begun. Yeah, because people can't afford to shop at Whole Foods anymore. So yeah. And then here's the other thing I wanted to do. National Bank of Poland leads central bank. All you hear about, this is one thing I can't stand about the gold community, is they're always politically correct. Always has to be like a non-Western nation that has this huge demand for gold. And like they always say China and India. I remember I dated a Chinese girl and she was like, no, we buy land. We don't buy gold. We used to. But look at this. National Bank of Poland leads to central demand. This is how you know you can tell Poland's wealth is real. Now, Poland is not without its problems. But, and I know that my wife's Polish. They have some of the same problems of housing affordability. They don't have crime. It's very safe there. When I actually stayed there, I took my luggage and we were staying at my sister-in-law's apartment and we didn't have enough room, so I just left my luggage out in the hallway. Meaning like the actual, think of an apartment. Think of an apartment. Like think of a hotel. Like you get your hotel room, you don't, so you just leave it outside in the hall. So where people walk back and forth. Like that's how safe it is in Poland. So they don't have the crime. And I was like, first I was like, is this safe? They're like, yeah, you can leave it. No one's gonna take it. So instead of before I entered our room, when I was in the hallway, I just left it out. Woke up, ran to the hall to see if it was actually there, and it was there. Poland is that safe, and it was in Warsaw, the capital. So central bank demand in October. So but they have affordability issues. They have there's a lot I would change if I was running their economy, but they are doing very well. They're one of the higher performing stock markets. And yeah, bought 16 tons of gold last month, first monthly increase. And they're importing gold because they're getting wealthier. So, one thing is they're allowing all these wealthy people to come in and buy up homes. I wouldn't allow that. That's pricing out the locals. And that's one of the reasons, there's other things I would do. But that's the one thing I would use. And if I had to, I would use eminent domain and take their homes from them and get it back to the regular population because, it's Poland, Polish people should be buying homes there. Not people like Elon Musk. So, yeah, or who's the other guy? Danny, not DeVito, Robert De Niro. Like he's actually. So yeah, I would use eminent domain and say, no, get out of here. This is for the Poles. So, the other thing I talk about. This is the other thing. Solid earnings season reveals tech strength, consumer weakness. Yeah, consumer is not subsidized by the government. Tech is. That's why. Uh, Before I get into others, this is the last thing. Oil glut will last into 2026. Here's why it's unclear how big it will be. This is why I think the only thing I'm buying is oil stocks. And that's why sentiment's hated. It's going to turn around. And that's it. So, in terms of gold, I think still in correction mode. I think it's going to go up more. And I think there's one more last leg. I've sold some. I'll be selling a lot more when silver hits 60, 70, 80, and then probably over around then, somewhere between, in my opinion. Not financial investment advice, just my opinion. Stock market, same thing as Bitcoin. They're basically the same. This is it. It's done. Done. Time for investing's over. So anyway, remember, not financial investment advice. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next video.